How do paralyzed people masturbate? Sex workers, friends with benefits, masturbation devices, that sort of thing. According to Murderball, I was about ready to wake up from the coma and the nurses decided to give me a bed bath, and one nurse got so excited that I got a woody, she ran outside and got my mom and showed her my erection. Physical changes occur immediately after spinal cord injury. Before you engage in any sexual activity with a partner, it would be helpful to know how your new body works. This can most effectively be accomplished by masturbating. In rehab, the first thing I learned how to do was jerk off. That was the very first thing. I'd rather be able to grab my meat than grab a toothbrush. You break your neck and these things may be impaired, but you know that still works, and when you're in a chair, you usually like to eat pussy. If they are paralyzed and can't feel anything, nothing works from the neck down, they need to masturbate. Besides, plenty of dodgy care workers to do that for them. They don't, or have someone else do it for them. Masturbating isn't essential to survival. Varies on their condition and the means they have available. In areas where sex work is legal, there are actually some sex workers who specialize in servicing clients with physical limitations. There was a surprisingly heartwarming Reddit post sometime back about a brother's journey to help his siblings lose their virginity despite their condition. And I believe there are even a couple of movies, documentaries on the subject. I do it for them. They don't. But usually, they don't feel anything at their genitals either, so doesn't matter. If they are super paralyzed, well then obviously they need aid from another person, which doesn't need the other person's involvement in the act itself, but just to perhaps help put on a masturbation device. If they are not super paralyzed and can still kinda move, well then they can just do it themselves with technological assistance. Depends on what's paralyzed. Obviously they can't if they are fully paralyzed. Imagine those whose arms are paralyzed just hump things. Legs below the genitals would be like you and me. There's actually a Taiwanese volunteer group called the Hand Angels where they volunteer to give hand jobs to disabled people to relieve stress, and such. They don't? I had a girlfriend who, through her work, ended up with a severely disabled boy having a crush on her. His arms were short and his hands were deformed so that shaving wasn't even possible. I told her, if he could jerk off, he'd be thinking of you. Next question, how do dead people eat? With a little help from a friend? They don't, lol. They learn to harness the powers of the mind. Same way they run, sadly. Depends, in the Netherlands there is a special amount they can get allocated as extra money to visit prostitutes. Same with people who have a heavy, often mental handicap. They often get creative with assistance or adaptive tech. They can probably have hands-free orgasms, right?